Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So this is going to be your October energy reading for fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And I'll also be doing an extended video as always. So if the messages in this reading, resonate with you and you want more in-depth messages, the link to the extended video will be in the description box down below. All right, fire signs. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So your overall energy I pulled from my new oracle deck. It's called Believe in Your Own Magic by Amanda Lovelace. I'll leave the link to that in the description box if you want to check out this deck. But yeah, I pulled cards from this deck for your overall energy for October, and I got the protest card and I got the release your guilt card. So I'm going to read directly from the book what the release your guilt card says. Okay, it says, you've been carrying the burden of guilt on your shoulders for far too long. It's now negatively impacting all facets of your life and making it impossible to function. You've come to a crossroads where you need to choose a direction. Go ahead and make your reparations or release yourself from the cage you've built around yourself. Hint, sometimes the first road leads back around to the second. Okay. So basically this is saying that if there's something that you've been carrying with you that you may need to forgive yourself for, the month of October may be the time for you to do that. I'm seeing here that for some of you, you feel guilt not over, well, it could be over something that you've done to someone else, but I feel like there's more so guilt over what you've done to yourself or what you feel like you allowed, and you're needing to, release that. Like maybe you've stayed in a situation, after you were mistreated, you still stuck around, things of that sort, where we can sometimes beat ourselves up like, why didn't I just walk away from that? Why did I allow this person to treat me like that? Why didn't I speak up for myself? Things like that are needing to be released because it really is holding you back. You're needing to apologize to yourself if you need to. I always tell people, like, the way that you apologize to other people, you can apologize to yourself the same way. You can look in the mirror and say, like, I'm sorry, I will not let that happen to you again. Just really having a heartfelt, sincere apology to yourself in the mirror can really work wonders. And then you can kind of release it and let it go and just change your behavior moving forward. Take the lessons from that situation and just don't allow it to happen again, But you're human at the end of the day, so you have to remind yourself of that as well. The things that you did, you were doing what you knew how to do. You were making the decisions that you felt were best for yourself at the time, With the protest card coming out with that, I feel like for a lot of you, the guilt comes from you not standing up for yourself specifically. Like you may have just allowed, mistreatment, or for a small group of you, it could have been that you saw someone else being mistreated and maybe you didn't stand up for them, or maybe you allowed it to happen, But either way, it's a need for you to release that guilt. And I feel like the month of October is bringing in some sort of energy to help you to fully release that, because it really is weighing on your heart. If you are feeling guilty about something that you did to someone else, then you may feel the urge or the desire to issue an apology to them, which could be helpful and beneficial to both of you. Or someone could also feel guilty about what they've done to you and they may issue an apology to you. So that's very possible for this month. Okay, so let's move on to your blockages for the month. We have the Five of Pentacles and then we have the Eight of Swords. Okay. So the Five of Pentacles is the card of being left out in the cold, feeling kind of abandoned, or feeling kind of just like ostracized, feeling like no one wants you around. But it's interesting because I'm seeing here that that's all in your head. I'm not seeing that anyone is actually abandoning you or anyone is actually trying to push you away or push you out. It's kind of like your own mind creating that. So for example, like you could call a friend and they could say like, hey, I'm busy, and you could start to overthink that, like, did I do something? Like, are they just saying I'm busy as an excuse and they really don't like me anymore? Like, you could start to feel abandoned, but it's all in your mind is what I'm seeing. So just be mindful of that in the month of October, to not like create scenarios where you're feeling abandoned when in reality it's just your own mind like creating that fantasy or creating that illusion. Let me pull one more card. Star card is here. Pull one more. King of Wands. Okay, so with the Star card being here, this card talks about healing. And usually it comes after, well, the Star card comes after the Tower card when there's usually some sort of like shakeup in your life. So I feel like these thoughts of abandonment, they're lingering from the past when you've been abandoned or when you've been rejected in some way, and so you're still carrying that energy with you. And so certain things that people do can make you feel abandoned even if they're not purposely trying to make you feel that way, or you can start to fear that you're going to be abandoned just by people changing their tone of voice just a little bit, or them acting even slightly different. It's like you're hypersensitive to the notion of being abandoned, so you're constantly on the lookout to make sure that's not going to happen. Just be careful of that in October. Just keep that in mind, that a lot of it is in your own mind. And one thing that can combat this is just to have very open and clear communication. If you feel like something's wrong between you and someone that you're connected with, go ahead and speak to them about it. Don't just jump to the conclusion that, oh, they just don't like me anymore. They just don't want to talk to me anymore. They're abandoning me just like the person from my past did. They're rejecting me just like the person from my past. It's like needing to speak to them first, have open, honest communication, because there's still some healing that needs to be done surrounding a time in your past where you have been rejected or abandoned, and it really scarred you very deeply. So there's still healing that needs to be done around that. And that's why I said in your mind, it could create scenarios where you're feeling like someone's abandoning you or rejecting you, or you could have that extreme fear of that, is what I'm seeing. I also do see here that for some of you, your abandonment wounds and your rejection wounds, the way that you handle it sometimes could be like pride. Like you can start to say, well, that's fine. If they don't want to talk to me, I don't want to talk to them. When in reality, they weren't even rejecting you. You know, they weren't even trying to push you away. They could be going through something, like someone can be going through something where they have to withdraw a little bit their energy, but it's not anything personal to you, but you could feel like kind of slighted by it because of your abandonment or rejection wounds. And then you could start to your ego can start to inflate, and you can start to say, okay, well, if they're going to act like that towards me, then I'm just going to act like that towards them. Or you could take on the notion of like, I'm going to push them away before they can push me away. Be very careful of that, because that's actually a blockage that's here. Like I said, know the whole story. Have open and honest communication first before you allow your pride and your ego to cause you to react. So the next two cards are your blessings. We have the Hangman and we have the Magician card. So if there's something that you've been wanting and there's something you've been trying to really create for yourself, and you've been like putting the work in to do so, then it looks like you are going to get that in the month of October, or moving towards the end of October, I'm seeing. But I do feel like when it comes to you, what I'm hearing is that you're going to think it's too good to be true, but it's not. It's not. Because I'm seeing it coming to you and you kind of freezing up when it comes to you, which is interesting because you've been preparing for it, and you could be thinking like, this is like, no way, this is too good to be true. But it's no, you've been preparing for it. You've been calling it into your life energetically, and therefore it's going to come into you in the month of October. Let me pull one more. The Eight of Wands, and then the Death card. So the Eight of Wands talks about you having a burst of energy as well, or you having some sort of communication in the month of October where someone is presenting you with good news about whatever it is that you've been trying to manifest, or you're getting like this energy burst towards whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. But either way, I do see some of you just really feeling like this is too good to be true. Like you get the info and you're just like, I don't know, like, is this a trick or is this a prank, or like, can I trust this? But you can trust it. Like I said, you have been preparing for this. With the Death card being here as well, this to me talks about you putting an end to your self-limiting thoughts, or you putting an end to your self-limiting beliefs after you get whatever this information is. I'm telling you, I just feel this energy of like you clamming up. It's almost like if you've like had like some sort of like strong feelings for someone, and you've been like just hoping that you can get a chance with them, and then they randomly hit you up like, hey, can I take you on a date? You could like clam up like, wait a minute, like, is this a trick? Like, is this like, can I trust this? But it's like that happening, or like whatever information you're getting, it's like it's putting an end to you doubting yourself, because you're now seeing the power of manifestation and the power of putting in the work or putting in the energy and thoughts into what you want, you know? So it's like putting an end to any self-limiting beliefs that you have, and it's helping you to really, you know, believe in yourself more. It's like a paradigm shift almost, where you're like, wow, so these things really are possible. I really can manifest these things just by thinking about them and going towards them and keeping the faith, you see? So that's what I am seeing here. So that definitely is a blessing. So now we're going to do the outside energy, the you versus them. So like I said in my other readings, you can switch roles here. Like if I'm describing you, but it sounds like I'm describing the other person, then just kind of flip the roles here. So this is a person or possibly a group of people who are affecting you the most in the month of October. So on your end, we have the 10 of Pentacles. On their end, they have the Queen of Cups. So it looks like in this month, you are really more future focused, especially when it comes to your connections. I'm hearing the words clean house. So you could be like really trying to figure out who fits into your life long term this month for some reason. I'm not sure why or what's the energy behind this, but it's like you're thinking way more long term. You're not wanting to take things like day by day. You're not wanting to kind of settle and keep certain people around because, you know, they've been around for a long time. You're really thinking about, okay, is this person or are these people, like, will they be there for me long term? Like, are these type of people that I want surrounding me long term? Because the people you choose to have in your life really does have a major impact on the course of your life, you know, on your mental health, on your on everything really, your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health. Like, your people who you surround yourself with, they ultimately determine the course of your whole life if you really think about it. So I feel like that's kind of what you are thinking about this month, is like, do these people, like, are certain people, do they fit into my life? It's like you're planning long term. And this person with the Queen of Cups card, it looks like they have some very strong feelings or very strong emotion for you, but I feel like you are, like I said, thinking more long term. So you're thinking more, you know, emotionally, but more logically, like you're thinking into the future and planning. They are just someone who is like swept up or caught up in emotion. So they are not necessarily thinking long term, but they're thinking about how they feel right now. So that can, you know, conflict a little bit. Let me pull one more. And again, it could be vice versa. Like, you could be the person who is thinking emotionally and they could be the person thinking long term. So just take it as it resonates. Pull one more. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Knight of Swords. Okay. So, Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. You're tired of putting in so much work. That's why I feel like you are thinking long term, because you're wanting to work smarter, not harder, when it comes to your relationships. I feel like you are the type that puts in hard work, and this is a fire sign reading, so that makes sense. Fire is like emotion in motion. Like, fire signs, they feel things and they act on them. They don't just feel them like a water sign does. They feel and act. So a fire sign is willing to put in a lot of energy and effort into their connections or into their relationship. But sometimes, like I said, you have to work smarter and not harder. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. You just thinking long term and where you want to invest your energy when it comes to, you know, connections, specifically, you know, this connection. They, like I said, they are more like living moment to moment, living in the now, not really planning the future, or not really fully seeing that your future with each other clashes a bit. Because like I said, it's like you're thinking long term, they're more like in the present moment. This is how I feel, you know. And they have the Knight of Swords. So this person could be communicating with you in the month of October about their feelings and how they feel, and then you may have to kind of make the decision of whether they fit into your life long term. So okay, just to recap, this is you on one end. being future focused, trying to sort out who should I invest my energy into, who should I allow to stay into my life long term, because this does impact my future. You know, the people around me impact my future. Then this is this person who feels a very strong emotional connection to you, and they are going to basically express that. They may actually give you an ultimatum, is what I'm hearing. They may like ask you like, hey, do you want to be in my life or not? Or like, do you want to commit to me or not? You know, depending on the nature of the relationship. But you may then have to make some sort of decision about whether you want them around long term. But like I said, they do care about you. They do have strong emotions for you, but that doesn't mean that they are compatible with you, you know, long term. I feel like this person, let me pull one more card before I say anything else. Okay, so this person, either they are very secretive or they find you to be secretive. And if they do find you to be secretive, I feel like you're not purposely trying to be that way. I feel like you're just trying to sort things out logically. You're trying to sort out, like I said, what you want to do moving forward. But them, it's like either they find that to be secretive or they themselves are secretive, and maybe that's why you're trying to figure out if you want them around long term. So we're going to stop there. I'm going to finish this in the extended. We're going to talk more about your connection with this person in the month of October, and then I'll pull additional cards for you for the month of October, just to see if there's any, you know, messages that you may need to hear. All right, so the extended link, or the link to the extended video, will be in the description box. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you over on the extended video. Bye.